And the judgment of the Supreme Court put a stop to shenanigans, put a stop to innuendos, put a stop to lies or trial in the media and public place. The court has demonstrated indivisible commitment to rule of law and humanity, and their commitment to do justice for all Nigerians, regardless of ethnic, religious, or any other biases.
After TiNuBu don't make this statement, now there Obi Ezekwesili come talk say the fight for a good society has only now started, and we know that nothing can defeat a people who have had enough of the invasive cancer of corruption and criminality. He said, read the story of a 70 Hong Kong to learn that in the quest for a good society, it is never over until the people say it is over. In the same vein, Aisha Yusuf constantly come and talk, say, TiNuBu lie no fit be a president, that she will never take or accept TiNuBu as a president. Say the man a crook, then a thief na he be. Say he thief the obedience mandate, so he no fit be, he will never be a president. Even Mamanda Adechi constantly talk, say Peter Obi na the only Nigerian president wey she know, because she know say Peter Obi na he win the last election where they do February 25th. He says, so if she want refer anybody to as president of Nigeria, na still Peter Obi. In the like manner, the civil rights advocacy group Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Horiwa, has described the dismissal of the petition filed by the People Democratic Party PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi as a mockery of justice system of Nigeria. Now, we all know the true definition of a criminal enterprise gang. Some would ask, where's now the hope? Because what else can citizens who seek a good society not do in the light of judicial enthronement of criminality as an official norm? Well, take heart in this fact. History shows that every criminal enterprise carries the seed of its eventual destruction all the time. So do not be deceived. Nature abhors dishonest gain and knows how to deal with it from the inside. Obi Ezekwesili. After all this one, don't bolofua. Now, so the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, he can talk, say, I will mobilize electoral support for President Bola TiNuBu during the next election in 2027. He said, TiNuBu will win 2027 presidential election. Nobody can defeat him. Let me say clearly, and to the hearing of everyone, we own a duty to continue to support Mr. President, irrespective of the political party we belong. My position is not hidden. I owe nobody no apology. That I stand firm with TiNuBu. I stand for equity, fairness, and justice. The interest of Rivers State is key. What will benefit our state is what we must always project. I am not a member of the APC, but I believe that the support for Asiwaju was necessary. Looking at all the candidates from the South, I knew that nobody could defeat Asiwaju. The capacity and the political will to take action, he has it. Most of you work for Asiwaju. Those who didn't work for Asiwaju, we know. It was not hidden. It was clear. I am not a politician for self. I am a politician for all. Not me, me, me. Nobody does that. Any person who does that does not want to survive, because at the end of the day, you need people. But be assured that all of us are working together for President Bola TiNuBu. I am sure in the next election, those who scored 2000 will not reach 50 votes again, because we have nothing to give anybody again, because our vote would go for President Bola TiNuBu. Hey God.
The FCT has no special status. As the minister of the FCT, what do you have to tell me?
Maybe you don't understand when he said FCT has no special status. What he said that in terms of calculating or having the special square, you must not win FCT before you are declared president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That FCT is like another state. So that you don't need to say, oh, if you don't win FCT, therefore you cannot be declared. That is what he said.
So you must step this part with the APC crew. Can we say that you have moved to the APC?
I didn't come with APC crew. And in the court here, I don't know where they said APC and PDP. I came here as somebody who's interested, as somebody who wanted the country to move forward. So I congratulate Mr. President, and I think that this has come to the end. No more speculation. So Mr. President can focus and do what he's supposed to do for Nigerians. Thank you.
Is that the Supreme Court is the highest court. Their decision is binding. I respectfully disagree with some portions of their decisions, but it's the final court. So if at this level you have any disagreement, the only appeal you have is to God Almighty. Maybe we may have to resort to that at the appropriate time.
Can you give clarity as to what you mean by that?
Well, the decision has just been given. We need time to digest it, but it's unfortunate that I did not hear about the issue of the forfeiture whatsoever. And the position of the law is that the courts is under a duty to talk on all the issues presented by the party. And we presented the issue of forfeiture as a fine imposed on the second respondent for the proceeds of narcotics and money laundering by the District Court of Illinois. I sat down through, I did not hear it, and I wonder whether that was swept under the carpet or was an oversight, because the lead judgment was detailed on all other issues, and they said all the issues there have been overtaken by event in all our own issues, and I did not hear the issue of the forfeiture. And so that's why I said I disagree respectfully, even though the decision is binding.
How about the 2% issue has also been laid to rest?
Yes, it has been laid to rest. The Supreme Court has the authority to interpret the Constitution. It is their prerogative as the arm of government imbued with the power to interpret. That is the interpretation they have given to it, and it is binding on us all. That's what I'm going to say on it.
What's your take on the reasoning on IREV? How is it going to affect our future elections?
That is very interesting, because the only paragraph the Supreme Court brought to the notice of the world, which was quite interesting, is that even the Supreme Court agreed that non-uploading of the result on IREV reduced the confidence of the people in the election. I heard it clearly. Meaning that even the Supreme Court agrees that the election was not credible, or as credible as it ought to have been if the result was uploaded. So credibility is one of the three arms of an election for the people. Free, fair, and credible. Credible means believable. Why shut out the people for the right the law has given unto them? So I was very glad that the Supreme Court pointed it out, that non-uploading of the result reduced the confidence of Nigerians in it. Meaning that it cannot be presumed to be credible because Nigerians were shut out in it. So I loved that particular part. Thank you.
He has discussed it.
Thank you.
Now this one I can make the Labour Party chairman Julius Abure come talk say they don't hijack the judiciary. Say this is not justice at all. Say in fact there is no longer law in Nigeria. However, he can't tell the obedience say me they say they trust and believing in the movement. Say one day revolution will come.
We therefore call on all our members and the obedient family to be vigilant and brace up for the challenges ahead. The struggle for a new Nigeria will certainly be tortuous and hard. We are also calling on the international community to rise to the occasion to defend democracy in Nigeria. Your voices were loud and clear in condemnation of the outcome of the presidential election. As we approach the next stage of our democratic journey, we call on you to stand by the millions of Nigerians who are already pushed beyond their limits into unnecessary hardship, poverty, and penury.
Based on this judgment, Chief Robert Clark Contalk say a sitting president has never been removed before. It has never been done and it will never. Based on the Nigerian constitution, where it give INEC the authority to take every decision on their own. He says so because of that, the constitution that the court is following is already faulty. There is no way they are going to make a sitting president to vacate his seat. It never happen. He says so when judges they come or lawyers they come, one can defend case or one can give verdict. He said this is the thing that they are looking. They are looking at the 40 constitution, which makes them to give the 40 judgments.
Adeburua says INEC failed Nigerians, and I quote him. He said the Supreme Court held that failure to uphold election results on IREV leads to loss of public confidence in the electoral process. The court, however, held that such failure will not lead to the nullification of election results. The judgment is sound in law and accords with the relevant statutes on the issue. What then is a penalty for the electoral umpire that failed Nigerians upon his own voluntary undertaking, because INEC is still busy assuring Nigerians that future election results will be transmitted electronically. It is left for the National Assembly to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to give us transparent elections. We cannot continue in this fashion. Let us see. Give us a sense of that position. IREV, transmission of result, the position of the electoral law, the Constitution, and the position of the Supreme Court today.
Let me be honest with you, Shehu. If we are not careful in Nigeria, for the next 50 years, trying to build an electoral system in Nigeria will always be a failure with all the laws that we have now. The problem in Nigeria today is not INEC. That is not the problem in Nigeria. The problem in Nigeria is that for one reason or the other, the enabling law, as it is today, will not help the country. For instance, the Constitution says every Nigerian has a right, the freedom to vote. But the same Constitution now says, oh, you can only vote if you are a party member. What freedom has the Constitution given me? I, Robert Clark, cannot contest an election in Nigeria because I don't belong to a political party. When I know that a political party as it exists today in Nigeria is the very basis of all the problems we have. If you do not want to be part of the system, then you don't vote. And if you don't vote, there's nothing you can do. The problem today is that the system we have, except it is vigorously looked into, we will continue for every 4 years to do the same thing we are doing for the next 20 years. I started with this constitution in 1999. Today, 2023, there has been no difference. Every 4 years, we do a roundabout trekking and come back to the same point. We've done about 6 or 7 election petitions, and as you rightly said, no court has turned, or the Supreme Court has never, set aside any election result in Nigeria. Why should they? When the law says whatever the umpire does is by law presumed to be correct. So once the umpire, which is INEC, presents documents to the tribunal and says, oh, I have done my job, these are the results. If you are not happy, then come and challenge me and bring your own result. That is what is happening. We have to look at that aspect first. We have to make sure that INEC should not be given that advantage of presenting documents and sitting down, and the courts have no alternative than to accept them as correct. Now,
so you think that we need to urgently look at, is it the Constitution in that respect or the electoral law? Which one do you think needs an urgent alteration in respect of what you said?
For us not to come back 4 years' time to come and be talking the same thing that we are doing today, we must amend the 1999 Constitution to remove that section that says to be able to contest an election, you must belong to a political party. You see, the problem in Nigeria today are the political parties. They are the people that are causing all this problem. Do you know how many cases come pre-election matters, election matters, post-election matters? They have been created by the politicians who drafted the Constitution, so that the same scenario will continue to happen every 4 years. The problem is not with INEC. The problem is not because you and I are Nigerians. No. The problem is in the system that allows you and I to manipulate it. Most of what is happening today is the manipulation. No matter how good INEC is, no matter how presentable their papers are, once Nigerians like you and I, who are all crooks, don't let any Nigerian come and tell me that it's not a crook. Every Nigeria today, we are all crooks. We are spoiling our country.
Clark,
and if we don't stop, yes, please.
Some of us are not crooks, sir.
I know. I used,
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's why I didn't mention any name, so that nobody will sue me. You see what I mean? Are you Mr. You? Yeah. Are you Mr. You?
Some of us are legitimately trying to do the right things every day.
I cannot say, Robert Clark, I'm legitimate. If I have a system that allows me to dip my hand and take away the country's money and nobody queries me, I am clean. So what I'm saying, Sheung, is that the law that we operate is the problem we have. And if we don't sit down and change the law and make sure that the law, and that is what allows other countries to look better than us, it is because the law is there. Because I, as Robert Clark, in my local government, I cannot contest election. Then I see somebody who has been doing every Jankara method, comes and asks for vote. Once he belongs to a political party, they bring him in. So we have to change the Constitution that allows you and I.
All right. Chief Clark, there's another issue that I'd like you to help us with tonight, and it's based on the reaction of the PDP. They are very aggrieved. They think that the Supreme Court erred. They do not agree with the Supreme Court stance on this matter. This is what the PDP said today, and I quote, Nigerians earnestly expected the Supreme Court to uphold and defend the clear provisions of the 1999 Constitution in terms of qualification and minimum requirement for a winner to be declared in a presidential election in Nigeria, especially with regards to the required statutory 25% of votes in the FCT, as well as issues of violation of electoral rules and guidelines, brazen manipulations and alterations of election results by the APC. Nigerians are still at a loss as to how the Supreme Court condoned the serious issues of forgery, falsehood, and perjury on the altar of technicalities. The PDP is saying that Apex Court has failed Nigerians.
With the greatest respect to all of them in the PDP, it's a very big, sweeping statement they have made against the Supreme Court, and they need to apologize. Because if there is a provision in any law and you as a political party fail to take cognizance of those laws and you just want to bypass anything like we all Nigerians do and try to cut edges, and then if you are not allowed, then you say, oh, the umpire is partial. If Atiku knew that TiNuBu had forged the document 20 years ago, when he and TiNuBu were together, contesting elections here and there. And now, 20 years thereafter, you are now bringing that document and saying this man is... And you didn't even bring it to the tribunal. You now waited and went straight to the appellate court to produce that document. And the appellate court told you that, oh, look, I am not an original the court. I am an appellate court. Go to the proper route and then go and do what you are doing. And you say, I have done you bad. No, 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 no. The parties should sit down, reorganize themselves, get good hands to look after their affairs, get better people who can seek out information for them. Because if you don't bring a matter to the court will not help you. The court is not a Father Christmas. If Atiku had TiNuBu's dossier 20 years ago and did not bring it and now wants to blame the Supreme Court, I think they are overblowing, everything. We are not all fools. Let them do their work well first. Once they do their work, then we may join them in fighting on their behalf. But on the matter of this appeal, the PDP has no point at all. They didn't do their homework before coming to the court.
What about the grievance of the Labour Party, Chief Clerk? I mean, there are those who believe in the Labour Party that their mandate has been stolen by Bola Tinubu and the APC.
What has been stolen? Is it by electoral decision? The Labour Party never won the election on any grounds. They did not have the highest votes. They did not have the votes of all 25% of all the 36 states. Then what has been stolen? You cannot steal what you don't have. They can only steal from you if you own it.
All right.
So you will see
Chief Clerk, I'd like you to help us wrap up and in this manner. Now, one thing is certain. Peter Obi has lost. Atiku has lost. TiNuBu has won. That is how much the Supreme Court has told us. And it's the final court of the land, the apex court in our country. And the verdict is as strong and as solid as the Rock of Gibraltar. Part of the statement of the Supreme Court today. Then we need to, in the next 4 years, TiNuBu remains the president of Nigeria. If you are not happy, you wait for the next 4 years. That seems to be the inference of the Supreme Court. But then he has the burden to run Nigeria to the interest of Nigerian people and run it well. What will you be saying to him tonight for those who believe that things are terribly difficult in this country and things are going south and he needs to wake up? What would you say to him tonight?
If I were in a position to talk to him, because I've never face-to-face talked to TiNuBu before, I will have told him that he should forget all the cries of the opposition, because it does not take away from the decision of the Supreme Court. What he has to look forward to immediately is how to rectify and find a solution to the economic problems Nigeria has. And like every other problem that we have in Nigeria today, these politicians have caused it. Nigeria was not like this before we had the 1999 Constitution. It is the 1999 Constitution that has given so much power to these politicians to do what they can do with impunity. And that's what they have been doing since 1999, starting from the first regime of Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, and all of them. They've taken the country as if it's their personal property. So what I'm going to tell TiNuBu, that it is no more a riding this thing for politicians. He has to stand up, talk to his colleagues, that Nigeria has a great problem and it must be solved.
All right.
Fortunately, I have followed his antecedents. And I think he's, out of all those who contested this election, if I had the opportunity to, I would have voted for him. Because I believe, and I honestly do say so, that Nigeria will change very soon. And I think he is the man that is going to change Nigeria.
Based on wetin Robo Clark talk, I strongly disagree that TiNuBu will fix Nigeria. If you use might, okay, I cannot argue that. But will fix Nigeria, I doubt. Because if they look the way our lawmakers still they spend money, any small thing they don't send prayers go their email box. Any small thing, now so they don't do this one for themselves. They want renovate their office. Now so they want buy car of 160 million per person though, and they are going to buy up to about 500. In fact, now this video, Neko analyze everything. Talk say now they are right for them to own that car, that it has always be. Say after their tenure, then they'll carry that car, they'll carry and go out, so it can become their property. My country people. Mona see TiNuBu when they talk say you want fix country. First of all, you should cut down expenditure. They say they want to use that card till they go from constituency to constituency. What is it they don't do since they don't become senators and whatever they call themselves? What have they done for these years? Because they want to use expensive car. Do you need expensive car to move up and down? Are there no other cars that are less expensive? Even when they will ask this man, say, okay, why can't you even put that money you want to go and give another country? Why can't you pump me to Nigeria? The man saying we are coming to that, saying they've not reached that state in buying from Nigeria, manufacturers. That time will come, they will start when the quality is good. Hey!
Do you think it's the right time to buy such an amount of vehicle as the nation is right now?
Okay. You see, if you look at the 3 tiers of government that we're running, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislatures. At the level of, you're talking of ministerial positions, directors, in government circles, AMSECs, even in the judiciary, the justices of the Court of Appeal, the High Court judges, not to talk of the Supreme Court justices. You check out the vehicle they are using. They are using the same utility vehicle that we're talking of. So what is the problem with legislatures that every assembly Nigerians will complain about the vehicles they buy for our legislatures? Let me tell you, we need these vehicles for oversight. We use these vehicles to travel all over our constituencies. And you'll find out that after 4 years, the value of this vehicle depreciates. And at the end of 4 years, the final value they will ask us to pay and go with the vehicle. When I was in the House of Reps, that was done. So it is not...
So the vehicle you used in the House of Reps is still with you? You took it home?
But I paid for it at the end of the day.
How much did you pay for it then?
I cannot remember now. Cannot remember.
But it was at a ridiculous price because you have used it for 4 years.
Not a ridiculous...
But at a very reduced price.
Because of the depreciation
of it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, some of the senators who are returning senators right now, they will get also new vehicles.
The one that they used in that assembly,
4 years ago.
4 years ago, the depreciated value as at the time they left, they paid for it.
So it's now 100% theirs.
But they paid. It's not that they didn't take it free.
Okay, so the lawmakers are not meant to pay proratively for the vehicles. No, it's supposed to be a purchased vehicle for you. It's an official vehicle.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be given to you by the government.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you do not want to take it home after 4 years, you leave it.
You leave it.
But it's supposed to be paid. It's not as though I have an official vehicle as a channel staff because of my status, because of my level here, working here.
Yeah.
So in some other climes, what you have is that you pay instrumentally for a vehicle like that until you finish paying it.
No,
that is not your case.
Yeah.
So Nigeria is buying these vehicles for these lawmakers.
Yeah. And at the end of your tenure, the depreciated value, they cost it, you pay for it.
Okay. Yes. So how much is this vehicle?
Let me even tell you, the cost of this vehicle, they are not even determined by us. They are determined by the civil servant. We have a department, just like every other agency of government that is in charge of procurement. You see, the vehicle that you're buying for senators and the one you're buying for House of Reps, they are the same price.
So they are buying Land Cruiser too?
No, they are buying, I think, Prado.
Okay.
But Prado. But I think the presiding officers, maybe they are buying Land Cruiser, I think.
So what is the price at which it is being sold to the lawmakers?
Let me tell you how they determine the price. Just like the Procurement Act. For items that you are procuring, the market price plus 25% profit margin and the VAT, the hard VAT also, the 7.5% VAT. You know that VAT will be taken back. Even the 25% that is added, they will still take away the normal tax of 5% from it. You see, let me tell you something, Sean. Now, as I'm talking to you, some of the vehicles that were purchased in 7th Assembly, 8th Assembly, 9th Assembly, they have not been fully paid for. Like you are a businessman that they bought vehicle from you 7 years ago at, say, 7 million naira, for example. And up to now, they have not finished paying the 7 million naira. By the time they finish paying, you know you have even lost everything.
So you cannot tell us now
what I'm telling you,
the rate at which the National Assembly is getting
the rate at which they bought the vehicle. If you know the market value of if you go to Elisade or go to any of these outfits, if the cost of Land Cruiser says 150 million or 160, I don't know, or 170, depending on the rate of exchange keeps changing.
Yeah.
Add what a department under procurement, what they will do, they will go and check the market price. And they give the percentage that is allowed under the Procurement Act.
Okay, so the reason why I made an example of myself is because not only that you use a vehicle, because if you, according to you said these vehicles are utility and operational vehicles.
Yeah.
Utility and operational vehicles are not supposed to be kept by individuals. So what you are getting is status vehicles, which you are using for utility purposes.
Yeah.
A status vehicle is what you can, that befits your status.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave an example of myself. Now, is it true that the lawmakers are buying at the rate of 160 million, the Land Cruisers?
Even now, Joe, at the rate of dollar exchange now, I don't know whether Land Cruisers sell in the market at 160 million. Are you getting me? They will not, if it's 160 million in the market, they will not come and supply to you at 160 million because you are not going to pay them their money outrightly. And the law, I've just said it.
So, but the federal government is paying outrightly to those who are supplying the National Assembly.
No, they're not paying outrightly. They pay proratically.
Okay, because at the moment, I compare prices. Just a moment. One of the top suppliers or sellers of vehicles here in Abuja, I didn't even go to Lagos. I just found out, I made my research here in Abuja. The range is between 140 million and 145 million for a Land Cruiser. But what we understand that they're buying those vehicles for you and your colleague is at the rate of 160 million.
I'm not even telling you now it's 160 million.
That's what we understand. That's what I'm asking. We understand that that's how much it's going to cost, 160 million.
I've just said something now, Sean. If you go to an outlet in Abuja and you are going to pay cash or you're going to transfer money to them outrightly, you can get it at 150, I don't know. But nobody will supply you that vehicle if you are not going to pay. I've just said something now, that some people have been home for vehicle purchase for 7 years ago. So you have to give them a profit margin. If not, the loss will be too much. All right. Because we are not going to pay outrightly.
So, Senator, let's not use the 160 million figure. Let's use the 140 million. And you say you chose Land Cruiser over Prado.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I said Prado, the House of Rep guys took.
So why didn't the senators use Prado instead of Land Cruiser?
You see, it's been the practice. When I was in House of Rep, while we were using Camry, senators use Prado. Are you getting me? Even last assembly, the same thing. So they don't give us the same, you know?
Because, I mean, they believe that senators are higher in status than the senators. Yeah. So because the market price of a Prado is about 85 to 90 million naira.
Yeah.
So when we wonder, so if you minus Land Cruiser and Prado, you give and take a 50 million naira difference in what you would have chosen to buy. Senator, there are other vehicles that are being produced locally, like GAC that has been coupled in Lagos. There is the vehicles that are being produced locally, owned by a Nigerian-owned company. There are a couple of them that goes with the same status, the same kind of features for about 40 million naira. Is there a reason why you do not want a locally made vehicle?
Today, we decided for
a foreign manufactured vehicle.
For Toyota, because Toyota has a name and a long-standing name for quality and durability. Tomorrow, we might decide to go for we chose Land Cruiser Toyota because they are tested, they are tried and tested. Yeah, tomorrow we'll patronize as a local manufacturing companies develop. We're going to patronize them.
Senator, do you imagine that this might be discouraging for Nigerian manufacturers when at a point in time a lot of people are saying, let us look inward and patronize locally made stuff to encourage production in Nigeria?
We have not even fully jettisoned them. I'm sure there are bosses, one or two, that from departments in the National Assembly.
Because if your colleagues in the lower chambers are buying 360 vehicles, your colleagues in the Senate are buying 109, that's way over, that's about almost 500 vehicles. You think if you purchase from local manufacturers, don't you think it will affect the economy? It will have an impact positively on the local economy?
Yeah, as time goes on, I've just said something, that we went for the vehicles that we chose because of, one.
Well, at this rate, are you patriotic, you and your colleagues, Senator?
Yes.
By patronizing foreign-made vehicles over local ones?
I've just said something, you know, that for some mass transit buses and all that,
maybe a few units that you're going to buy. We're talking about buying
as time goes on.
Is that patriotism?
As time goes on.
You swore to be patriotic to Nigeria. Is that patriotism, Senator?
At the same time,
if you are doing this for Nigeria, for the purpose, for lawmaking of Nigerian laws, for Nigerian people, and you're buying almost 500 vehicles, and you're patronizing, you're taking Nigerian money outside of this country, is that patriotism, Senator?
I've just said something, Shion, that as we develop in terms of quality and all that, we are going to patronize Nigerian.
Okay, Senator, let me ask you a question. Do you think purchasing about the 140 million worth of vehicle is not illegal?
It's not illegal. If you are saying, let me ask you. It's not, if you go to some states of the Federation, before houses of assembly members are even sworn in, there are vehicles waiting for them, Prado and all that.
Is that a reason why you lawmakers have to break the law?
And there's no law.
Do you think
can you tell me Nigerian law?
Are you familiar with RAMFAC?
That says that
the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Commission, Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission.
Yeah.
This is a commission that prescribes how much anybody in the public office will earn and what is accrued to them. Are you aware of what the law says?
Yeah.
Based on what a senator should get and the House of Representatives should
get.
The
law says that ministers of government, agencies and parastatal directors, they shouldn't purchase utility vehicle for them.
Let me tell you, Senator, just for a moment.
Yeah.
I've asked you whether you are aware that what you're doing is illegal or not. And you said it's illegal.
It's not illegal.
Are you operating under the RAMFAC law or not, as a public officer?
There's nothing in RAMFAC law that says that you cannot purchase project vehicle, utility vehicles for your service. Their project, let me tell you, we go all over Nigeria for oversight.
And you take this vehicle for oversight?
Yes.
And you don't fly for your oversight functions?
Is it always that if I want to go to my constituency now, where will I fly to?
Well, Senator,
I travel by road.
Senator, would you buy 160 million naira worth of vehicle for logistics and utility? 140 million naira for utility, Senator? That is a status vehicle, Senator, isn't it?
Why are you guys... Ministers are using same vehicle. Directors of government, agencies are using same
Senator,
vehicle.
are you are closer to your people. You've represented your federal constituency. You're representing your senatorial constituency right now. Is it sensitive to be spending 140 million? If I give you 140 million naira cash to take to your senatorial district, won't your people benefit from it?
My country people, there is no need flogging a dead horse. Them say they go buy the car, they go cruise them, say now they are right to own them. And this is the government that they say TiNuBu want to fix. Hallelujah. Amen. This is Bod TV Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.